Having that entrepreneurial spirit of I'll do whatever it takes. I'll try 100 different things, not knowing which one's going to work or not. Getting back up again and being resilient when you get rejected over and over and over, maybe in all caps, maybe sometimes rude, maybe in person, maybe you get stood up in person.
Search Party is sponsored by Avid Bank, Boulay, Mayer Brown, Plexus Capital, and Oberle. The lead sponsor is Next Coast Legacy. Hello and welcome to Search Party. I'm David Snow, your host, and today we're joined by Henrique de Freitas. He is an entrepreneur through acquisition who, after research, acquired a business solutions company called Reliable Premium Management. We're going to hear about his ETA journey. He's originally from Brazil, came to the U.S., and is now the CEO of an ETA-Backed company. Henrique, welcome to Search Party. And can you start out by just give us an overview of the company that you acquired?
My name is Henrique. I'm CEO of Reliable Premium Management. I've been in the seat for 7 months tomorrow. RPM essentially is a workers' compensation pay-as-you-go billing solutions provider. So in plain English, we help small businesses, about 10,000 of them, manage their workers' compensation premium payments over the course of the policy life cycle. So you save money, you save time, and ultimately it's a cash flow solution for small business owners.
Henrique, what do you think gave you an edge in acquiring Reliable Premium Management?
I acquired in 6 months, which is atypical for search. The acquisition was a great, what I would call product market fit for search. A business owner that was coming into his 60s, that had built the business over 20 plus years. It had grown into something bigger than he probably ever imagined it could. And it turned out to be a win-win, a liquidity event by somebody who would take care of the people and the culture and the legacy while still being able to roll over some equity and stay involved in terms of the equity side of things. And the company needed more investment in technology to continue to evolve, to continue to scale. And that was the background I brought. Part of my thesis in searching in the insurance space exclusively was looking for companies where technology was a competitive differentiator, not the base case.
So tell us a bit more about your background and what drew you to ETA.
I'm originally from Brazil. I was born and raised there. Came to the US when I was 18 with a scholarship. And the scholarship was from the founder of a Brazilian private equity firm called 3G Capital. That experience, the relationship with the founders, left a deep impression in me. And I always wanted to be an investor operator. So I worked in investment banking. I moved over to private equity, moved over to the operating side of one of the portfolio companies, moved to technology. I was a product manager at Google for a number of years, started a machine learning startup, venture-backed startup that didn't work at all. I wanted to figure out what I was going to do for the next 10 years of my life. I kept going back to that original dream from when I was 18 of wanting to be an investor operator, wanting to buy a company and then run it. Wanted to be with people, wanted to operate. I wasn't fully aware of the search model at the time. I knew it existed, but I hadn't been fully exposed to it. I started learning about search, about the model. I was tremendously impressed with the world-class people who were doing it, both CEOs and investors, and how welcoming they were. To give you a sense, every single person I raised from, I didn't know 6 months before. Every single CEO I spoke to, and I probably spoke to 50 of them before raising, I met starting from cold outreach, from LinkedIn, from emails, not from people who were in my network from undergrad or from banking. And the fact that the community kind of allows you to do that so quickly with such real conversations, I thought was really, I'd never seen anything like that before.
What would you say to a younger professional that is thinking about building a career in ETA search?
The first thing I recommend people to not do is think about it like a career track. I think you need to think about it like an entrepreneurial journey. It might succeed, it might not, but will you be better off and glad that you did it regardless of outcome? I encourage people to think about it as an entrepreneurial calling and to think about it beyond the career path. If you're thinking about it comparing to what could I do if I go down a consulting path, I think you're thinking about it wrong. At the end of the day, there's dozens of searchers out there who went to great schools and had good jobs and are smart, but that's not enough right to win to buy a great company, to convince a business owner that they should pass on their baby to you. And then more importantly, to be able to actually operate and grow that business over time. So I think having a really intellectually honest answer for yourself of what is my right to win, whether that be in an industry, in a geography, in a particular business model, with a thesis, having some answer for that, I think is really key as well. And that will set you ahead when it comes to fundraising, when it comes to actually searching, and most importantly, when it comes to operating.
Here's a question. What personal characteristics do you think an ETA searcher needs to possess to be successful?
Search is not a career path. It's an entrepreneurial journey, and you've got to make it work. The one thing that we know about search, and one of my investors said this to me a number of times, is that everything works and everything doesn't work. So there is no silver bullet. There is no guaranteed method that will lead you to find a great business, let alone acquire it. If you're somebody who needs structure and a very clear path to success, I think that's going to be really hard, because search is, getting rejected 10,000 times until you finally build enough goodwill with different owners and then an opportunity comes back and you close on that deal. So I think having that entrepreneurial spirit of I'll do whatever it takes, I'll try 100 different things, not knowing which one's going to work or not, getting back up again and being resilient when you get rejected over and over and over, maybe in all caps, maybe sometimes rude, maybe in person, maybe you get stood up in person. There's all sorts of search horror stories, but being able to get back up, learn from it, think that it was a cool story that you'll get to tell someday and that'll make you tougher and a better operator down the road. That is what I think sets the best searchers aside, is you keep going because you're an entrepreneur, because you couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And if you're instead wishing you had a job that was paying you twice as much with a nicer office and cold brew coffee, I think that gets tough.
Search Party is sponsored by Avid Bank, Boulay, Mayer Brown, Plexus Capital, and Oberle. The lead sponsor is Next Coast Legacy.